everyone. Of course, it is your girl, the woman of controversial engagement. And my name is Ria Sia, as you might have seen. And thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited because I have this amazing guest today. And we're talking all things beauty in my scar under her foundation that is called I Found Beauty in My Scars. And today I want us to dive into that, to talk about most of us are carrying our scars inside and no one can see them. As you can hear, my voice already is not the greatest today. So maybe today it is the scar that is internal today, just for this topic. I like to think, because really I've tried everything, I drank everything, and the voice is still not coming. But just, besides that fact is, most of us are, carrying our scars internally. And we know very well how to really cover up our scars. We know very well how to hide away from the world, trying to portray that we are happy, we are well, we are everything exciting, everything beautiful. But how about, for us to talk about this concern or this, topic when we have Lolo, who's been living with external scars, and that she really had to go through over-explaining herself and indulging in her personal life. But today we are blessed because she's going to tell us more about herself. She's going to tell us more how she dealt with, all of that around the community. And Lola, I'm so happy to have you today. How are you, girl?
I am blessed. I am fortunate. I'm happy. I'm excited. And it's a privilege to be here and finally shooting this podcast and just to explore how beauty in my scars have started and impacted my life and everybody's around me's lives. Yeah.
Wow. I'm really, life can really just put two people together. I mean,
Definitely.
I believe not so long ago we were sharing, a platform together. We had Hershey's and we were sharing the platform together, talking about, lead with confidence. And she was one of the guests. And I really was, glued to you, already attracted to chemistry vibes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've got to have you here, really just tell us more, just introduce yourself more to the people. Who are you? What do you do? And, just a brief intro.
Okay, hi guys, everybody, hello. My name is Lolo Ndemueda, the chicken dust, the fire girl, the hottest chick in Mozambique, actually the world.
Ooh.
So yes, and hashtag I found beauty in my scars. If you want to know a lot about me and us, then you have to stick around and watch this video until at the end.
Of course. If you don't watch it until the end, then what were you doing here? Because the juicy stuff, they're always at the end.
Definitely.
So tell us about your foundation. I mean, I found beauty in my scars. Tell us a bit more about that one first.
Okay, so the hashtag I found beauty in my scars started the movement around 2016.
Wow,
And
it's been a while.
yeah, that's because the world will always try to use what they call your weakness to destroy you, and the world tried to use my scars to destroy me by teasing me, discriminating me, and telling me I'm not beautiful enough. And I was like, actually, I have to find a way to enlighten myself from inside and to accept who I am. So then I gave birth to this beautiful movement, hashtag I found beauty in my scars, and no one can take that away from me.
Wow. I think that's a powerful, hashtag. That's a powerful and bold statement to have, because a lot of people will say, I found beauty in my scars. But really, from time to time, it changes.
Definitely.
And for you, it is an initiative that is here to stay. And it came because of your story. If we can dive into the time before, the story happened now.
So I always believe that life has got its own way of turning things around, and I call it either a transformational encounter.
Yeah.
And I had a transformational encounter where I believe I was born.
Yeah.
You know, I was born in 2010. God had to reinvent me, you know, and redefine me.
Yeah.
And this happened back in Bila on the 13th of July, 2010. And I was 13. So that's not a mistake. You understand? It was after FIFA World Cup. The media was busy capturing the World Cup. It was an exciting moment. And you know, the devil want to destroy you, want to make sure that you do not stand for anything.
Yeah.
But God puts everything together so that you can stand for everything. So this man deliberately, intentionally, and purposefully set 17 school children on fire with a poison gas. And I believe that God also intentionally, deliberately, and purposefully allowed it to happen. That was his response for us to validate his word. And yeah, that's how I obtained or had this significant scarring around my body. And it wasn't just physical scars, it was emotional scars, psychological scars, because you are born as this woman. Now in your early teenage years, you are starting high school, then your life, it get changed just because of a man's mission, you know. But his mission was not a success. Even if he killed 10 kids, his mission is not a success, because I am evidence to the fact that no situation has the power to stop us from embracing who we are. And I'm carrying the lives of those kids who died. And I believe that as much as the justice system has a price tag, God's justice does not have a price tag. That's why I'm smiling today, healed, and have forgiven this man.
Wow. If you can take us back, I mean, you're talking about there was 17 of you, if I stand corrected, and you were school children at that time. Where were you in the school? You know, just paint the picture for us in terms of where were you and how everything happened.
So I always have to tap back. I always ask God to take me back into that moment, and with strength.
I know.
This time I go back to occupy that space and take strength so I can speak about it. Hence, I am healed. When I spoke about it before, I would cry, but now I don't anymore.
Yeah.
So it was after school, you know, after school kids, we walk as a group, you know.
Yeah.
And
this is called Bela Bela.
Yes.
Okay.
And I believe that this was a premeditated thing. It was planned and it was well executed. But in our pain, God has always had a plan. And why I'm saying this is because in the recent years, I developed the sense of growing closer to God instead of further away from God. And reading scriptures, it gives you revelations. And back then, in 2010, the 13th of July, after school, we normally went to church. As Catholic kids, we would go to church, Banaba Maria. We would sing, we would practice the Mass, and we would do that every day.
Okay, and what is the name of your school?
It's Femicide Secondary School.
Okay.
So after school, I go pick up my friend, like we're going to church as normal. Wow. And my little sister comes. You know, when you're siblings, you always want to follow each other.
Yes.
Then that date was very cold. But my little sister somehow was feeling hot. Hence, I'm saying this was a premeditated and God has approved it already, that it should take place. So when we go to my friend's house, her mother says to us, no, before you guys go to church, please get me a bucket of water. And then we went to the tap, we got the water. And then when we get back into her yard, my little sister says, I can see the smoke behind our house. And I was like, what do you mean? Then we look, it looks like it's further away from us. And it's as if now, today, I realized that there was actually a voice calling them. And I accompanied them. So we were obedient children. Like, we listen to our parents, we respect them. When they say don't do this, we'll listen. And then my friend was the first one to just leave the yard. And then her mom was like, aren't you guys going to church? Don't go that side, go to church. And then we're like, yeah, we are going to church. And then my little sister followed and I followed them. They're like, no, we're going to go the other way. We're going to go behind the house and then go the other way to church.
So you were using an unusual route on that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I'm following them, they're not going the routes that's supposed to go to church. I'm like, guys, where are you going? So they keep saying, no, we're going to go to church. And both of them, I'm telling you, it was July. It was very cold.
I can imagine.
The sun was out, but it was cold. And I'm wearing track pants. I'm wearing long socks. I'm wearing a lot of jackets and woolly stuff.
Yeah.
And my little sister girl is wearing shorts.
Wow.
And a vest. And my friend is wearing stockings, clear stockings, and a short skirt and a vest.
Wow.
So that taught me that they were the chosen ones. I was accompanying them. So we walk. When we finally got but it's not far from home, from the houses.
Yeah.
We find a lot of ladies and male living saying, oh, this man was trying to burn down our village, but we managed to put the fire down. And we thought maybe it was those trained firefighters coming to teach people, because normally in our village they will come every year to train people how to control fires.
Wow.
So they would normally do control fires. So we thought it was that, but it was actually this man. So those people were now walking back, coming home. But my little sister and my friend are still walking up. And I was like, but
still going towards the venue,
Yes.
whereas people were going away from the venue.
So I was like, but there's nothing happening anymore. Let's go back. So we finally got there. There was some like dry and burnt wood and stuff. And then we're like, okay, let's go back home now so we can go to church. Then we're like, oh, let's go. Then so these people left. And mind you, we're only 3 of us.
Yes, like.
Then this man, we see him behind us because we were looking around and this man has something, we thought it was a fire extinguisher. And he's talking to another man. And then they giving each other this so-called fire extinguisher. And then he opens the gate, he comes after us. And, I don't want to be racist, but yeah. This man of color was like, at villages we respect people of color and stuff, and like, but I don't think he would we are young, I don't think he would do anything to us. He was probably just helping to put the fire down or whatever, but the fire was down. So he started following us, and then on the left side he cuts the electric fence at the bottom. Little did we know he was planning his escape. He was doing his escape route after he's completed his mission. So I was literally just, I don't know if I was dumb or it was just God taking away my thought processing,
Yeah, I think it's not really being dumb on being, it's just that some stuff they happen in that moment. I mean, you were very young, 13.
Definitely.
If you were really like, I don't know, informative, I was going to be surprised. But back in our time, back in 2010, I mean, when you're 13-year-old in 2010, not everything was available. I mean, we started having phones about 2004, 2000, so you see.
And we couldn't afford as well.
Yes.
So all you knew was church and school,
Yes.
So, literally this is playing in my head like a movie. So we start walking and my little sister says to me, this man is following us. She says to us, and I'm like, I don't think so. And she's like, look at him. He's following us. Let's run. When we try to run, he's also running after us.
Oh my gosh.
Trust me, the atmosphere changed. It became cloudy. You know how Jesus shows up for you through the clouds? It became cloudy. If there was water there, I would think we are in the storm. It's windy. There's a lot of wind. And my friend was like, guys, wait for me. I'm feeling hot.
Oh my God.
Let me take off my stockings. Hence, I'm saying these people, the 2 girls, my little sister and my friend, were already spiritually burned. And I wouldn't be shocked if they were already dead spiritually. God has already given them up in order to do whatever, to validate himself and say, I am going to make sure that these kids, if this is happening to them, it's going to become a liberation for this village. This man is not going to get anything out of this village. So she says she's feeling hot. I'm like, there's wind. It's cold. So we wait for her. She takes off her shoes and her stockings. We start running. This man ran after us. So we scream. And then he sprayed us with that thing that he had, that fire extinguisher, and we found ourselves in flames. Oh my God. And when we tried to escape, the electric fence on our left, it's on.
Oh my God.
Mind you, my friend has got this plastic thing, those stockings. Obviously, her hands are also burning really bad. And I think we stayed in that fire probably for 15 minutes burning. There is no way of escaping. And I was just like, well, thank God we were going to church. If we are sinners, God will definitely forgive us. And I remember very well saying to God in that fire, I bring myself as a living sacrifice. Please forgive me if I've done anything wrong. Like, I'm dead. I don't think I would survive. Because when you are cooking or holding a matches, when you burn, it's so painful. Just a little bit. Now we are in flames.
Oh my God.
I didn't believe that there was any way out. So we tried to escape. The electric fence is on. It's choked us back into the fire. And we are burning and burning and burning. But God has always had a plan. Somehow I got out through that electric fence. But when I go out, I go into this man's lodge. I go into the perpetrator's territory. He burnt us in our territory. He had access to our territory because of people in our community, of course. And I did not have access. I went into his territory trying to look for safety.
Oh, my God.
And then as I walk, there's a lot of... there's bush, it's bushy there. And there's a lot of dry grass. So the fire is also coming into his lodge. And then he is there trying to put the fire down. Also, he was plowing, taking the dry grass away from
it's sort of like to cut out the flame.
So it doesn't catch. But as young as I was, I still believed that humans have humility and they're kind enough and benevolent to not harm anyone. I didn't believe this man did it intentionally. So I go towards him and I'm like, I'm so thirsty, I need water. And he had guys working for him also. And he told them, I remember his words. He's like, stop, leave her, do not help her. You don't know what happened to her. It's none of your business. Make sure my animals do not burn. That was the first register God showing me that this man did this on purpose, but I've got you.
Sure.
So then I hear my little sister screaming. I think that's one of the most painful part out of all this. I hear her scream, calling her parents. They are nowhere to be found. I can't go back into that fire to save her. Now I'm caught up between having to go back into that fire and going to seek for help. And I'm like, but she's burning. How far would I get to rescue her? And this man is saying these people mustn't help me. And then my friend also managed to get out. Now we are standing there screaming, very dark. Our skin is like we were different people. We are dark like shoe polish, and the skin is hanging like... I literally see everything happening right now. And she says to me, let's just keep running. We see houses on the top of the hills. She says to me, let's run, let's keep running.
This is you and your sister?
No, with my friend. My sister is still burning. So we go. As we approach these houses, because the hills, they're actually further away. As we approach them, it's like they are disappearing, but it's because they were on the other side. They just looked nearby because they're in the mountain, But eventually, God will always send someone to rescue you, even when it looks like it's too late. When it looks like Jesus is sleeping in the boat, he's actually not sleeping. And we eventually got to the other side of the fence, and we found other people also trying to
escape.
No, trying to remove the grass so that the fire doesn't get in. And those guys, even today, I'm always saying thank you to those people. I don't know them. And they took off their jackets. And then now I get another message that confirms that this man did this on purpose. So these boys think they worked for him. They say, let's take off our jackets before this man sees us.
Oh my God.
And then they took off their jackets. They made us lie down. But the most scariest part is that they covered us with the black plastic bags because they had the rubbish bags, So they made us lie down. They covered us with the plastic bags. They literally used their jacket for us to lie down. And then another lady came, and she's also like a woman of color, but she was on the other side. And then I get a third revelation and confirmation. This lady says, we are screaming, wanting water. We were so thirsty and dehydrated. She says, let me use this man's car before he sees me to go and get them water. And this woman drove so fast, and then she came back with bottle of waters, and then she was throwing them. She was in fear and anxious. She threw them over. These guys took the water they were giving us, and she said to them, do not give them too much water. It's not good because they are very dehydrated. And as she's speaking, my eyes are also getting swollen because the skin is peeling off. It seems like, the fire was traveling across our bodies. And yeah, we were lying there. I remember my brother then came, and they started calling ambulances and stuff. And then my friend's mother came. Oh my God. She sees her child lying down. And as she's seeing her, because we are covered in black plastic bags, she thinks we are dead. And she starts crying, and we are just dehydrated and feeling hot and cold. Our temperature was up and down. And then eventually we got into the ambulance. Now I don't know what happened to my little sister.
Oh my God.
I don't know where my parents are. And I remember when we got to the gate, now we are leaving, the ambulance were open, people are bringing in blankets, everybody is saying goodbye. And I didn't know that was some of the children's last goodbye.
Oh my God.
So I thought it was only the three of us. Until we got to hospital, we're hearing rumors. No, there were actually more kids because other kids came to save others. We're trying to save others. And then some guys also who are not school people, I think they were probably 18, they also tried to come and save us. Then they got burned. Yeah, so we went to Bila Hospital, and then my parents eventually came, but I'm so proud of them. They were very strong. And I was transferred to Mankweng, and my friend and another girl and my little sister, she went to Ben's unit, and we went to female surgical ward. So yeah, I think the hospital part will need another podcast because
Yes.
like it's hectic. It was hectic. Yeah, that's what happened. And when we go to hospital, they had to cut off our clothes, and they're coming off with the skin. And this is the message I always give to people. Like, if you want to study medicine or you want to be a nurse, please do it because God called you to do it.
Yeah.
Because when people go into hospital, it's a place of safety and healing. But if you're going to get into hospital and then it's a place of death, then... Because some nurses were just so rude. When you tell them, when you're crying, they hit you. And then the skin is coming off with their clothes, and they just pull it off. But other nurses, which I appreciate, like our sister Shirley, they would actually put water so that the skin, when it comes off properly and with less pain. So yeah, I think that's when we have to have another session and talk about it, because it's sensitive and Yeah.
Another story.
It's another story for
day.
another day.
Wow. I think I need to give you a hug.
Yeah. Thank you. It's our reality, man.
I think for me, because we've met each other and then we talked briefly about it, but to get the the whole context, I think it touches my heart because I have a 12-year-old that is turning 13, and I can see how tiny you were. I can visualize how tiny you were, how happy you were, how
Definitely.
feeling that safe you were, and nothing really was too hot on that day besides, hey girls, let's go to school. And then you probably were joking around, laughing around, talking about Lona while apparently shorty. You were just having an innocent moment.
And trust me, it was our first day back at school. So it was June holidays. So July the 13th, we're going back to school. And it was the first time our parents were able to afford, because there's 2010, there's always a trend. And then we had to carry those suitcases, those cases, the maroon.
Yebo.
Our parents were able to afford that, and then tunic, maybe it's a tunic, new uniform. And we looked all maroonish and pretty. Our hair was styled properly by
like
our parents.
it was school reopening. You were on fire for school. Mama, my shoes must say, my bag must say, my tunic must be. Even if you
On point.
on point.
Exactly.
Miriri done.
On point.
Understand?
There was no baby hair. They just comb your hair, relax it, and then you are glowing.
Happy, relax China food.
It was the first day we took a picture together, me and my friends, three of us. Little did I know that was a memory created on the same day.
Sure.
Until today, I have not seen my friends. It was just rumors that they died. And I found out in 2011, July. We got burned in 2010, July. So, yeah. But I'm happy I've forgiven the man. And it is a reality of many people. Every day we get to hear kids are raped, kids are killed. And every time I read such news, I know. I'm like, I know what this woman is going through. I know what loss does. I know how substandard and excruciating pain is. And sometimes you just become numb. Because I thought I would be the last person this man hurt. But unfortunately, we have a lot of perpetrators out here. But I'm still going to keep praying and say, God, the justice system has a price tag, and unfortunately, we can't afford it. But your justice, I trust in it.
Will prevail.
And we're not going to see what these men are going through. We don't need to see it. As long as we are completing our mission, God is happy.
I think that journey, when I reflect back in your time as well, and when the incident was happening, I'm glad that it's been revealed to you over and over again that God has got you. Because so many times that we go through difficulty on a day-to-day basis, just on a normal day-to-day basis, we almost feel like God is not with us. We almost feel like he's not helping us. He's not, present in our life. And your story and that incident, it brings me hope because of how you're telling it as well, by saying that God has been with you throughout that whole incident. And to this day of you sitting here today, I think the story is not going to go unnoticed. I think all of us, we want to hear, especially now that, with Kwekwe's incident as well, if we can go back to 2010 on a 13-year-old then, and it's still happening now.
It's still happening now.
Is our voice not loud enough? Is our cry not heard enough? What?
Sorry, I always say that. As I said, we go to hospital for safety, we come out dead. Sorry, we go to the police station for safety, we come out humiliated and embarrassed.
Oh my gosh.
And in most cases, the police now is just a concept. There is no roles and responsibilities anymore. It's few of them that have passion to do the job. Because trust me, if I tell you that in my case, in my story, it was orchestrated and backed up by the police service. Even the captain himself, late 2011, when I went to check on the case, he said to me, "We buried your little sister. There is nothing that we can do because this man has got bodyguards within the police station." But God does not need bodyguards to succeed. Even this man walking around with police, with guns, AK-47 to be protected, it means he's not powerful.
Yeah.
Why do you need a gun to be protected if you're so powerful? Your money can't buy you peace. Because you're still looking around. They are harming us and hurting young kids because of our innocence carries power. And sometimes it needs to happen to the strongest person in order for the truth to be revealed. As much as it's painful, we don't know how many women or young kids this man raped. But because it happened to this child is now bringing transformation, liberation. Because it happened to me, this man now in Bila, there were so many stories that this man has killed people and threw them allegedly into the lion's den. So because it happened to us, it was a marked and chosen society that had to reveal the truth about someone who's been killing and murdering people for so long. So we bought liberation. We've been kept in captivity for so long, and God says, look, even through your pain, I'm always going to have a plan. And if we are carrying Jesus' cross, then we are going to be bleeding.
Oh, yeah. That's so true.
We will bleed, and he's got the bandages. Because in the book of Genesis, he did say, I'm creating enmity between a woman and a serpent. And a serpent is the perpetrators. They are here to bite our heels.
Yeah.
And for them to bite our heels, our parents' heels, if they can't reach them, then they go through the children. But God still gave us the power and the autonomy to say, even if this serpent is going to come and bite your mother's heels and she bleed, I still give her offsprings the power to crush the serpent's head. So right now, us telling the story, we are crushing the serpent's head. When I chose to forgive the man, I'm crushing the serpent's head. You have the power to crush the serpent's head. When you go to school and pass, you are crushing the serpent's head. When you start the business, you are crushing the serpent's head. Because the serpent's mission is here to kill, steal, and destroy.
And if he cannot still your voice, you are crushing the serpent's head. Wow, what a revelation. What a revelation, because I think we get so, entangled in our own concerns, own problems, and we don't see those little wins.
We don't.
When we are stranded looking for transport for us to get to one point to another. And when you eventually get there, you're like, geez, I've crushed the serpent's head because they were trying to block me from making this possible.
Definitely.
Wow.
There's always a revelation behind everything that happens. But at that moment, because the foundation of our faith is so low, it's not strong enough.
Yes.
That's why the devil is able to shake it up. And if you're building a house and the foundation is not strong, the house will crash. So we need to stand in solidarity with one another. We shouldn't wait for someone to be raped. We must tell these stories, provide the platforms, and when you speak about it, you heal. The more you are vocal about it, the more healing comes easier and easier, because love acceptance is so powerful. Once I have accepted this is happening to me, and I'm gonna use that fire to ignite and illuminate the path of people who are in the dark.
Oh, wow.
That fire that was supposed to steal and destroy me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it to light the path of many young people who are in the dark.
Wow. Your fire is burning inside, you know. You have power inside. And I think
Thank you.
You are so right when you say God orchestrated everything and the offsprings will have more power. And you happen to be that offspring that has
Definitely.
more power. You happen to be the voice that God was looking for, because others, this happened, probably it has happened to them before.
Yes.
There are stories that incidents like this. Yeah.
It couldn't be told.
Yeah.
And when you said our voices are not loud enough, I wanted to say our voices are only loud enough in the realm of this world. When you are dead, your voice is loud, because silence is also a message.
Wow.
So until I die, that's when you will see everybody hashtag.
Yeah,
Hashtag
I found,
justice.
especially it's
hashtag
gonna
I
say
found beauty in my scars.
Yeah.
Because now silence
by
is
Lolo.
louder.
Yeah.
It's louder. But now that you survive, I tell you, there's a lot of media houses I just can't mention. Some of them were like, your story is not powerful enough. I'm like, yes, because I'm not dead.
Oh, you're right.
But those children who passed away are giving me the power and the strength every day. You think their voice is not loud enough, but now it's being illuminated. It's been ignited through me. And I will make sure that I speak the word of God until we have less. Why should we have statistics of rape?
Why?
Why should we have statistics of murder, of women being killed?
Children be abducted,
These are
kidnapped,
all businesses.
trafficked. You know, all of those things are happening. And I'm really glad that you're saying that you want to be the voice of the other 10, you know?
And other kids around across the world that
Other
whether they
kids.
were burnt through rape, because this fire comes in different forms.
Yeah.
It comes through
Right.
rape, it comes through murder, it comes through kidnapping and trafficking. Those who couldn't make it back home with a scar as a reference of what they've been. Instead, they came in a casket. I will speak for them. And I've been doing it.
And
I won't stop until my voice also become loud enough when I'm silenced.
this platform
This platform
has already made sure that this is the loudest voice, and this story will reach millions and millions of people and women and children and men that wants to help out to say, we want to put a stop in this.
definitely.
We want to be the helpers. We want to be the anchors, of making sure that women are safe. Children are safe, at schools, in their playground, in their villages.
Exactly. Where is the liberation? If we're liberated already, where is the freedom of liberty? Where is the happiness and the expression? Why can't we express ourselves? Dress the way I want, walk around, go to the post office at whatever time I want.
You're right.
Why should we have limitations? Do not wear like this because this is what's going to happen to you. Do not travel at night because this is what's going to happen to you. It seems this is the world that the devil is trying to destroy so much. And reading the Bible, first thing that the devil wants to do, there's a story in the Bible, I think in the book of Exodus, where Pharaoh sent people to go and kill the boy child.
Yes.
And for the world to stop functioning and have liberty and give birth to strong, powerful people, they need to terminate a woman, a woman's womb. They need to kill babies because those babies are going to transform into something powerful to change the world.
Yeah.
So they want to terminate our womb so that we do not give birth to doctors who are here to give healing. They don't want progress. Hence, they are attacking women. If women today say, you know what, I don't want to give birth anymore, the world will stand still.
It will.
There won't be growth.
There won't be filtration. There won't be reproduction.
There won't be production.
Yes. I think, just now when you're talking about, Pharaoh sending out that a boy child must be killed, I think it is still the serpent that is still existing. I don't think now Pharaoh is killing a boy child physically.
No.
But Pharaoh is killing a boy child
emotionally,
mentally.
Go and rape.
Oh, yes.
Then
go and rape.
You have no life. You have a criminal record.
Yes. Oh, you're right.
They tackle us from a mindset perspective.
Go and kill.
I don't think there's a woman who gave birth to a rapist.
None.
I don't think there's a woman who will go in labor to say, yeah, I want you to be a rapist. I want you to be a killer. No. It's a seed planted by Pharaoh and the serpent. And we still have the power to crush the serpent's head.
Wow. I think, while we're talking about that and you speaking about your story in the place of healing, I mean, powerful words are coming out of your mouth. The zeal, I can see the fire in your eyes. I can see, that you are so strong and powerful and you really know what you're standing for. Take us just a little bit back in terms of how long was the healing process for you and what actually happened when you, for the first time, you looked at yourself and you looked at your scars.
So healing does not have a time frame. It doesn't have a time frame. I remember when Simon Peter didn't believe that Jesus rose again. But Jesus just showed him the scars. Wow. Because you want to believe by seeing, right? Yeah. And I came out of hospital in, I think, around November toward December for me to go and spend Christmas with my family. Mind you, I've never seen the sun since July 2010. I didn't go out. I'm inside the hospital. Kabali yellow bone. But very skinny. Yeah. Like I lost weight. They even had to look for skin somewhere to patch, to do screen grafting.
Yes.
And healing requires, again, forgiveness and love, acceptance, and awareness. I always say to people, you cannot go looking for a solution when you don't know what the problem is.
Oh yeah.
So you need to find the problem. Why I'm looking for healing. Where are you in pain? Which part of your body is in pain?
Where are you wounded? Where are your scars?
You know? So trust me, healing does not have a time frame. It does not have a time frame. But when you have the willingness to accept and heal internally, then it becomes easier.
Yeah.
I remember when I went home after I came out of hospital, I have bandages. I'm so skinny. You only see the head.
Sure.
And I look at myself in the mirror and I see tears coming down. Like, God, who am I? I couldn't recognize myself. And those nurses in hospital told me, when I'm healed, I won't have any scars.
No scarring. Yes.
Or everything's going to come back together to the way I was. But I guess it was just God using them to calm me down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be like this. I want to kill myself. I attempted suicide, I think, 3 times. And God was like, no, we are on an assignment. This assignment cannot complete itself. The reason why I made sure that they cannot get to you on your deathbed is because I need you alive. And my parents were like, girl, you have to forgive this man. You're given a chance to live. You survived. And the good thing, I don't know, the other kids passed away. They're like, look, forgive him for you to reclaim your destiny. Because why are you killing yourself? Because this man burned me. Why are you not going to school? Because this man burned me. Why are you not happy? Because it's about him. What about you? Why are you giving him the authority and the stage to control and
the power.
And the power to detect how you live, how long you live, how you breathe. Forgive him. And I went on my knees. I remember I said to God, I'm so sorry that I gave my life up to this man and not to you. Everything was about him. And I need everything to be about you.
About you.
God, forgive him because he didn't know what he was doing. Sure. And make sure that I am the last person he harmed.
Sure.
I don't want to give him the authority to hurt anyone else. God, forgive me and forgive this man. And I reclaimed my destiny. That's how I got healing. That's how I was healed. From there, even my parents were thought, maybe I'm not mentally okay. The way I was so happy.
Wow.
I would wear shorts. My dad will start shivering. No, you can't go out like that. I'm like, why? This is my skin.
This is my skin and this is my body.
This is my
I'm not going to change it.
I'm not going to change it. It's
I
like,
need to accept
no. People are going to laugh at you. I'm like, it's fine. At least I'm going to make their lives happier. When they laugh, they become happy. And that's what God made me to survive for. If people are laughing and bringing happiness and healing, laughing brings healing.
Yes.
Laughing brings healing because my parents and my whole family, my 2 brothers, played a big role in my healing journey. They would laugh at my fingers. My fingers were very white. So they started calling them Mautwana and they would laugh about it. By the time people called me Mautwana on the streets,
it didn't have an impact.
I would laugh and they would be shocked and embarrassed because now the devil is getting embarrassed. Oh, I thought we were going to kill her this way.
Oh!
When they call me the limping one, I'm like, my brother already wakes up and say, let me kappa you limpy. We laugh about it. That's how I got healed. Forgiveness, love, acceptance, and just tease yourself. Laugh yourself. Make fun of it so that when the devil sent his pharaohs to come and bite you, you are already familiar with those words.
Yeah. I think, it's really powerful. It just reminded me of something that I watched really. I follow Pastor Robert Madu, and he said something so beautiful because he was doing a relationship series in his church. And he said that one of the preachers, he was in a plane and there was a lady that he was with. And this lady started saying, you know what, once the flight has landed, if you are available, you can come visit my room, because we're staying in the same in the same hotel.
Yeah.
So I remember they saying that the man started screaming like, help! and everybody started looking at them. And then he ran away. And then they went to him like, what's wrong? What happened? And this pastor said that if you don't embarrass the devil in public, he will embarrass you in public.
Definitely.
And I really relate to that because that's powerful. That all the jokes were already happening in your house.
In my house.
And when you go out, there's like, you're going to tell me about something that I'm living. You're not going to hurt me. Wow.
Nothing has the power to break you unless if you give it the power. Once you give people access to your territory, and then you allow them to detect how you must live in your territory, then. But healing is a process. But honestly, it requires you to forgive and accept who you are. It does not have a time frame. You can say I'm healed now, and then tomorrow you have another incident. So healing it needs to be part of willingness. I want this.
Yes.
You see, the same way you study and say I want a distinction.
Yes.
You must suffer for it. I want this.
I want this. I want to be
free. I want to be liberated. Because when you're not healed, you get triggered so easily.
Yes, and you become so angry.
And bitter. Yeah.
And bitter. And I think you're so right. If we're giving negative things power, that's
what you attract.
Yes, and you become resentful.
Somebody will even pass and say, oh my God, you look beautiful. And then you have low self-esteem and you're not confident. You're like,
where do you know me from?
Like, Who are you? Who do you think you are? You know. But when you have confidence, you've healed. Whether somebody says you're ugly, you laugh about it. Like, oh, thank you for recognizing that. At least I'm attractive.
Yeah, and at least you notice me, you know.
Me.
I'm happy that I got your attention.
I've walked a long distance. Nobody said anything to me. And when you notice my ugliness, thank you. At least
at least something happened today.
Yeah. So
I think that is really powerful that you telling us that healing is really about forgiveness. And I think that's how we need to be able to recognize the wounds and the scars that we have, so that we're able to put the plaster where it is actually needed, so that we are able to move forward. Now, take me to this, word that you use quite often, even when you introduce yourself, chicken dust. Can you tell me about the chicken dust story?
Wait, do you love the chicken dust first?
Yes, I do.
Then you love me.
I do.
Then you love me.
I remember in our time, Onosna a lot of access to a lot of stores. Not only mall, like we see malls now, they're everywhere.
Even the fridge.
Yes, got the townshipping. Every place you go, there's a mall, So chicken dust was that me la ho ema koning I best I richacha nini kibashimani bateng by what's it? It was so nice,
So chicken dust. When I moved to Joburg, non-acceptable chicken dust. I knew there's chicken by Besanko Strade, but I didn't know it was called chicken dust.
And when did you come to Joburg?
In end of 2011, around October, November.
Yeah.
It's a story for another day. See, I'm writing a book.
Yes.
So when I go to Joburg, even the taxi driver will like chicken dust. I'm like, what the hell is that? Then they look at me and they start laughing. And then in Soweto, when I was with my aunt there, people will call me chicken dust and they will laugh. And then I'm like, but I can't cry about something that I don't know.
Even know.
But I know they're laughing at me. Okay, let me cry. And I get home, I ask them, what is chicken dust? You get chicken. I'm like, people are calling me chicken dust because I'm burned. And they're like, no, it's okay. It's fine. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, aunt, please, let's go buy me chicken dust. How? This thing is smelling nice. Like, it invites you.
Why would I from
far? I'm like, this is the chicken dust that's smelling. She's like, yeah, we give in. Then this lady, also. This thing is nice.
To a point that the way thing in our time, they even opened a franchise called Chicken Opeu. And the barekisa chicken dust pure, and every place had that container.
So I'm like to my aunts, you know what? I love this new nickname of mine that was meant to destroy me. It's actually gonna build me. From now on, I'm chicken dust.
Wow.
Because they got attracted by my scars. I even gave them the power to process their thoughts, to think about what to call me.
That's how impactful you have been.
Yeah.
Really.
So I'm like, I'm attractive. I smell nice. Well, the difference is that they can't eat me, but I'm the most nicest chicken dust.
Yeah.
Spicy. Yeah. So my aunts are like, are you sure? And then she started laughing. It's like, yeah, I'm sure. Then we laugh about it. And they're like, okay, fine. But now I don't know if I'm going to call it chicken dust, but yeah, let's go for it.
Let's go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how the chicken dust name came about, because it was meant to destroy me, and I used it to build my confidence.
Wow.
And I'm the nicest chicken dust. So
the nicest, the prettiest, the knowledgeable, the powerful.
Exactly. So
everything great. So you are the A-class chicken dust.
Chicken dust, yeah, premium. Is the premium one.
Yeah. I think you really, it's so good because you have given us, that your life story in terms of what things would be able to really affect us, how things will be able to really affect us, and how things, that we need to be able to draw from things that really want to destroy us, but to capitalize on them, to actually put them in our journey, in our profile, to say, if that's how you how can I say, you resonate with me, then so be it. But one thing that I know, I am the most powerful chicken dust you could ever see. Unfortunately, you won't be able to eat it, but it's gonna be it's gonna be powerful.
In the aeroplane thing, I'm the Emirates.
Ooh,
Premium
class.
Yeah. So yes, you need to find beauty in your scars, because the scars are the only real thing that can show the reference of where you have been. Your scar, whether it's internal or external. And external scars, I always say, you are able to express them, and when people notice them and they start laughing at you, you are still able to deal with it. While emotional scars are very difficult to express.
And even recognize, really, as a person really needs to go through it. And I really love your story. I mean, Lolo, it's been just an awesome time having you today.
Thank you.
It's just so awesome. I mean, I found beauty in my scars. I think for me, I can relate to what you're saying in terms of when they are outside, it's easy for you to reiterate so that you don't forget your story. And I think that's how, for example, I got my first tattoo. So I had my first tattoo that is written my late father. And when they asked me, why are you writing this tattoo? And I said to them, because I don't want to forget my father. And every time when a person asks me about the tattoo, it is that moment that I will be able to speak about my father. And he will live on
and
forever.
He's so happy where he is right now. You are doing absolutely great. And he's there taking bullets for you, trust me.
He better take shots, fire, pa, 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 pa. He's
taking the bullets for you. Yeah.
Lolo, thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, it's a powerful story. It is something that you really advocate for, and we really support you in your endeavor of, making sure that you become the voice, and you are the voice that is louder for those that were, silenced. Yes, you are right, and I'm really happy to have had you in our podcast today. I really wish you nothing but the best. I hope that you will have that book. I hope you have started writing that book.
Coming very soon.
Yeah, because guys, there's so much for us that we could have, really indulged in. I mean, as you've seen Lolo today, she is a powerful, person. She's a powerful woman, and she's living with her scars. And every opportunity she has, she's able to reiterate her story and what happened to her. And it gives healing to us, It gives encouragement to us as well, and whomever as well that will also see this podcast or interact with you. So where can people, because I know that you're a motivational speaker, and there's so many community work that you're doing. Where can people find you?
Oh, well, I'm on TikTok, the Fire Girl. I'm the only hottest girl, guys, in Africa.
Ach!
So just search hashtag I found beauty in my scars, one word, or search the Fire Girl. And the Fire Girl on YouTube as well. And I also started a podcast called Scars Unveiled. We are unveiling our scars. So yeah, it's
awesome.
Just hashtag I found beauty in my scars on all platforms, or the Fire Girl. You'll find me there. And I'm there to bring you healing and transform your life to become the best version of who you are.
Perfect. And for bookings, where can they really email?
Yeah, they can send me a WhatsApp on 060-877-1991.
Please don't be a scam. Don't be that guy that be like wink wink. Hey, no. Re a bereka mo ang kutla ke reng. Re a bereka re tsa chelete, and le mogelo wa bukiwa, and le wa patadiwa. Ha bui mahala. We have a power voice that we need to be able to really refresh, whether in gifts, whether, with love and all of that, so that you are still able, to function as well as a person. So I really thank you for that. And guys, this has been so powerful for me today. I mean, living with my personal scars, that are within me, even though, okay, I still have a little bit of scars on my legs, and my kids ask me, how did you get the scar? But besides that fact, there's nothing daunting really, and there's a story there beside childhood memories. And I thank Lolo for today, for sharing, the most powerful story, impactful and insightful education for us and the women that are really, fighting for gender-based violence and femicide, and we are just here to say that we honor such women, and we are also saying we need justice for Kwekwe. It's people like her that are able to be the voice in South Africa, that are able to be the voice nationwide for us to speak about such incidences. I mean, she was 13 years old, and look at her today. Powerful woman, a powerhouse indeed, and I appreciate her. Guys, it's been real. You know how we do what we do. You can find me on my YouTube channel, that is W.O.C.E, W.O.C.E and you can find me on Instagram as woke_Ria. Don't forget, woke is with the C, because we're trying to get you awake. Hello. So let's make sure that we meet each other again for our next episode. I love you.